Chairman Schiff, what was your reaction to hear a former national security advisor of this president very plainly saying that Donald Trump is aiding and abetting Vladimir Putin?
Well, first, I was glad that he spoke out, and others need to as well. Those who work with Donald Trump and understand what a threat he poses to the country cannot, in good conscience, remain silent anymore. What he had to say, and bear in mind, this is the second national security advisor of the president after Bolton, to say the president can't be trusted to defend the country. The merits of what he's saying, that the president is aiding and abetting Putin, are sadly all too much on the mark. After all, Putin and Russia are intervening in our election right now. Right now, as people are voting, the Russians are interfering to try to help elect Donald Trump. And so discord, they're trying to amplify the president's false statements about whether we can trust the results of the election. And what is the president doing? He's still praising Putin and his relationship with Putin. There's a common denominator, Lawrence, between the two stories you just covered. The one about his inability to condemn and criticize the Proud Boys, and his inability to condemn and criticize Putin. Basically, it doesn't matter how despicable, it doesn't matter how damaging to our national security, and those white supremacist groups are a threat to our security. If they're for him, he's for them. And how can we have someone like that as our commander in chief?
What would you say to voters when they listen to you, they realize Russia's trying to interfere with their right to vote, with their ability to cast their vote, with the way they're going to cast their vote? What would you say to voters tonight about how they should approach voting this year?
Well, I would say this. It's the most important election you're ever going to participate in. So whether you decide to vote by mail, which is a safe and secure way to vote, especially during a pandemic, or whether you want to go into that voting booth, is less important than the fact that you vote. We're in the extraordinary circumstance right now where the Russians don't have to make stuff up anymore because the president is making it up. They just need to amplify the false statements. And right now they're amplifying the president's false claims about whether we can vote safely, whether we can vote accurately, whether the country is capable of holding an honest election. We can, you must. And we'll see our way through this. But that's what I would suggest. Get out and vote. Make sure your voice is heard. The president doesn't want you to vote, and neither do the Russians. Go ahead and prove them wrong.